Leave it to Birch to trick me into leaving rehearsals early just so he could practice that song of mine without me knowing it. Well, it never dawned on me that he always got cornered by a member of the backup band just as we were about to leave. Well, honestly, I didn't think I deserved the recognition, but it did feel good to perform with the group again. We pulled into dock shortly after 7 in the morning. I noticed Birch get on his cell as soon as he could pick up a signal.
Oh my God.
What? What is it? More bad news?
No. Incredibly good news. Check your voicemail. I think Tad Kelso has something for you.
I went for my cell, but stupid me forgot to keep it charged. I mean, I couldn't use it on the cruise, so I didn't even bring a charger with me. No, suffice to say, it was deader than a roadkill possum. Yeah, sorry, Birch, it'll have to wait until I get this recharged.
Never mind, I want to verify it anyway.
We were no sooner off the boat when Birch dashed off to a newsstand that was just off the pier. He picked up a paper, glanced at it, and got this huge smile on his face. Then he paid for it and dashed right back.
There you go, Stan. Read this.
Just below the fold, I saw the headline. FBI and local law enforcement bust Cub prostitution ring. Oh man, that was it. I read through it looking for anything that might even remotely connect my name to the operation. The only thing the story mentioned was an anonymous tip. Birch then handed me his cell.
Here, call Mr. Kelso. I think he can fill in the details.
Birch, can it wait until we get someplace a little more private?
Oh, right, of course. Sorry. Let's go get the crates loaded on the truck.
I had no clue just how big of an operation this concert cruise was. Birch had brought almost all of his music gear, which now had to be shipped back to Huntington. I was very glad for the distraction. I had no idea what fate awaited me, and right then, I didn't want to know. We all then headed to the airport, saw one person off who was going to Atlanta of all places. The rest of us caught a flight to Charlotte, North Carolina. The flight was pretty crowded, but the one going from Charlotte to the Tri-State Airport was less so. I was grateful to have Birch drive me home. I couldn't think about anything but the ramifications of the FBI sting. And when it went off without a hitch, well, I was as nervous as a cat stuck on a Ferris wheel. We finally arrived back in my apartment and Birch handed me his cell again.
Coyote Consultants.
Yeah, good afternoon. This is Stan Grizzly. Is Tad Kelso available?
Certainly, Mr. Grizzly. He's been expecting your call. Please hold.
Stan, good to hear from you. I hope you heard the news.
Yeah, I saw it in the paper this morning. Sorry I didn't call sooner. My cell was dead.
Then I take it you haven't heard the voicemail I left you.
No, I couldn't check it.
That's alright. I don't think this requires you to come to the office. Are you somewhere private?
Yeah, I'm back at home now.
Excellent. Well, the raid went better than anyone, even the FBI, thought it would. All cells were caught unaware. As far as they can tell, they got them all within an hour of each other. No one had a chance to warn anyone else. I don't know how many minors were rescued, but it was a significant number. Some of them had been on the missing persons list for years. The raid actually caused other competitors to show their hand as they hastily moved their operations. The FBI is monitoring them as well.
So, none of the bosses escaped?
Not as far as we can tell. We did get some indication that the cell in Tijuana blames Tom for the leak. But don't worry, he's dealt with this before. He's someplace safe.
Oh, thank God.
I also got word just this morning that prosecutors in California are willing to accept a guilty plea to solicitation of a minor in exchange for your help. Other charges have been dropped.
Well, what about federal charges?
There was insufficient evidence that anything outside California was even attempted. And since California has already decided not to prosecute anything more serious, federal prosecutors are declining to press charges, provided you accept and adhere to the sentence California has decided on.
Oh, well, okay, lay it on me. How bad is it?
Firstly, yes, you will be put on the sexual offenders list. There was no way to avoid that. You'll have to wear a monitor for a time that will be determined, minimum 5 years. Anti-androgen drugs will be administered every 3 months by an agent authorized by the court for an indefinite period. You'll need to continue therapy, also indefinitely, and maintain a residence no closer than 2,000 feet to any school, public park, or recreation area for as long as you are in therapy.
Wait, that's it?
Yes. No further repercussion will be coming, provided you adhere to those limitations.
You're kidding. What? No jail time? That's... I don't believe this. Other sex offenders have been put away for years for far less than what I did.
Yes, Stan, but you also did something that none of those others did. You saved the lives of nearly 100 minors.
Oh.
Don't ever forget that.
Oh, those poor kids.
Did you have any other questions?
No, I guess not.
So, I have your permission to enter a guilty plea in California.
Huh? Oh, yes, absolutely. Go right ahead.
Very well. I will be back in touch. We will have to make a trip to California at some point. Unfortunately, the record won't be sealed, but I have asked that it be kept as discreet as possible.
I'll deal with that when the time comes. Thank you so much, Mr. Kelso.
Until later, Stan.
I gave Birch's phone back. My mind and my body still in shock. I tried to wrap my head around what happened and failed miserably. It just defied all common sense. It was like God himself reached down and gave me a second chance. Personally. I broke down and cried right there on the sofa.
Stan, it's going to be okay. Whatever it is, I'll be there for you.
Birch, this is amazing. I'm finally starting over. I've been given a new life. I know it's hard to forget the past, Birch. You know it. I know it. But you better believe from now on, I'm using it only as a reference. I'm done living that way. I wish I had a short-term memory. I wish the only thing that I could see was my future shining bright right in front of me. But I can't stop looking back. And I wish I was a perfect picture of somebody who was never not good enough. I try to measure up, but I mess it up. And I wish I'd stopped doing that. Well, I wish I wasn't wishing anymore. I wish I could remember that nobody's keeping score. I'm tired of throwing pennies in a well. I gotta do something. Here goes nothing. It's day one of the rest of my life. It's day one of the best of my life. I'm marching on to the beat of a brand new drum. Yeah, here I come. My future has begun. It's day one. Well, every sunrise serves to remind me that my best days are not behind me. No matter where yesterday might find me, I ain't gotta stay there. Because my hourglass is upside down. My someday soon is here and now. I'm sick and tired of missing out, and the clock is ticking down. I wish I wasn't wishing anymore. I wish I could remember that nobody's keeping score. I'm tired of throwing pennies in a well. I gotta do something. Here goes nothing. It's day one of the rest of my life. It's day one of the best of my life. I'm marching on to the beat of a brand new drum. Yeah, here I come. My future has begun. It's day one. Day one. Here comes the sun. Every morning, every morning, every morning, mercy's new. Every morning, I'll fix my eyes on you. Every morning, mercy's new. Every morning, the sun's coming up, the beginning has begun. Yeah, it's day one of the rest of my life. It's day one of the best of my life. I'm marching on to the beat of a brand new drum. Yeah, here I come. My future has begun. Day one of the rest of my life. It's day one of the best of my life. And I'm marching on to the beat of a brand new drum. come, yeah, here I come. My future has begun, it's day one. It's day one. It's starting now, I'm starting over. I'm starting over. Yeah, here comes the sun, I'm starting over.